Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a Wavetek 4 MHz pulse function generator model 187. And this one is feature packed. All the fancy delays and trigger this and trigger that. And we got different outputs and can do gate and input and output, and we got some really cool things here. We got voltage control input, so I think that can do all sorts of remote sweeps and fancy things. I think this one is from the end of 80s, maybe start 90s. So I better open and investigate, as always, what is the state of everything. It is quite modern inside. Of course, we got a big hefty transformer mounted here at the back, and it's also mounted good in the rear aluminum here for thermal. Look at that. So this is a good thermal design that will spread the heat. And then the regulators, they're mounted right here, so this is a little bit interesting. Positive 15, and instead of the negative, so it's using a tip 30 and a little transistor and some stuff like that. Maybe we got some other. No, so that is how the positive and the negative supply are made, and we got the capacitors here, and everything looks nice and beautiful. We got a few tantalum capacitors, quite a lot of them all over the place, and also in the output amplifier. I found a really cool detail about this circuit board. You probably already noted. So look at that. This is the power supply. So look at the yellow dotted line, and then there is a text, power supply. Oh yeah, we didn't know that. But a lot of the other dotted area here. So this is the comparator, synchronization, trigger logic, output amplifier. And what is that? A sine converter, a square shaper and whatnot. Yeah, this is the voltage input, capacitor, multiplier, and timing triamp. Yeah, it's using really good quality timing capacitors. So I expect this one is nice and accurate. There's another circuit board hidden, and this one is also full of a little local regulator and ICs and transistors and all that kind of stuff. And I bet that is all the delay things, because that's right, all this kind of stuff that is related to delaying. So this generator is a little bit special. If we look at the dial here, see, I don't know how visible that is. Well, this is 1 kilohertz, 2, 3, 4. All right. But then look at what happens down here. Then it goes crazy logarithmic until it stops more or less. See, plip, plop, plip. 0.004 is the number right here. And that is like 4 hertz in the 1 kilohertz range. Sub, and you have 1 kilohertz. And this is really special. But I think the reason it is like that is because of the voltage control input. That means you can more or less stop the output to a really out of band frequency, especially out of audio range, which is like 20 hertz and all the way up, right? So anything under 20 hertz will be filtered away to nothing. And that means this one can be used for all the audio freaks to make music and to make all sorts of cool things using the voltage control input. Also, it can do all sorts of really funny pulses. All the different pulses and delays and all that kind of stuff only work in square mode. So in triangle mode or in sine wave mode, none of this works. So let's go in here and have a little look at the oscilloscope. We can now see what is going on. So delay is on. So if delay is on, then we can do some stuff here with the width. This sets the pulse width, and delay is really, really fast. Okay, so we need to look at a very low pulse, and then let's zoom. So here we go. Width is now very, very small. And then we enable the double pulse. Look at that. Now we got 2 pulses, and this is here. This is the pulse width, how wide is the pulse, and here's the delay. So now we can move the second pulse and do all sorts of funky pulses like this. And of course this is all analog, right? So there is no protection against this. See, bloop. Then it kills the pulse. Yeah, and then, yeah, okay, clearly. We can make some really, really small pulses as well. So that is the features of the pulse mode. So let's play a little bit with the features of the voltage control. So voltage, the input of the voltage is a DC voltage, and that affects the alignment or adjustment of the frequency. So let's input a very, very low sine wave. This is a half a hertz, and the input here is 2 volts peak. And then you see we go over and under the set frequency. We can of course adjust the amplitude to a very 0.5 volts, so it's not that much. And see, now we are not moving the frequency that much, but now I can of course adjust the DC set point, and by remote here just move this 1 volt up. See, it's still the same movement, but we are just moving it up, and then it goes faster and faster. But what happens if I move the voltage below 0 like that? See, it goes all the way to 0, to the lowest possible. It's actually stopping here, and then it continues again. It goes directly, oh, yeah. So we can make it DC mode, yeah. And then there's a little flip-flop. So let's go back again. 0 volt DC, and then let's give it 2 volts. So it's really doing a lot. Now let's try and hear this. We can actually just put a little speaker on this one. So here we go. And then we can put it somewhere else. Oh, that's a lot of noise. Ooh. Sorry about that. That was terrible. But what about if we modulate 2 external generators together at the same time? Look at this. How is that going to sound? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so I don't know. It's really a cool signal generator, I gotta say that. I think that is more or less all I wanted to show you about this fantastic Wavetek. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you soon again. Bye bye.